Do you ever wonder if your best years are ahead of you or behind you? Well, I think it's a great question and one that I have thought about for many years. And my perspective really is this probably won't surprise you that my best years are always ahead of me. It's really funny because I had not noticed really that this was my perspective until a friend of mine, Lou, and I were talking one day, and this was several years ago, like it has to be 5 years ago or so. And something that he said made me think about it, and I realized, no, you know what? Even though at that time I was probably in my late 40s, I always think my best years are ahead of me. And it made me really sort of wonder about that and why that's the way it is. So I'm Brenda, Florida, life coach and lifestyle advisor. And I just wanted to talk about this a little bit today in our Live Lavishly Light episode. So we've taken a little hiatus from Live Lavishly Light while I was promoting the program Enough Already. And if you missed that promotion, I'll plan to open it again in the future. But I wanted to just give you a little morsel to think on this week, which is this question of, have you said to yourself, either consciously or unconsciously, that your best years are behind you? Because if you have a conscious or unconscious message about your best years being behind you, then I promise you they are. They are definitely behind you, because you will not do your best when you think your best is behind you. So I've always had this orientation that my best years were ahead of me. Now, not being perfect, I will admit that when I got into my late 40s, like it might have even been 49, looking ahead towards 50, I had gotten to a place where a number of the things I had wanted to accomplish, or a number of dreams that I wanted to achieve, in my life, I had not done. And in many ways, my life looked very different than I had intended for it to. And I kind of got in a funk that lasted about a year or so. And I don't mean by that like I was depressed or moping every day, but like I started to take this mental shift where it was just like, oh, I should just be happy with what I have. And, I have a great life, and I have great kids that love me, and I have a good job, and I have nice things, and I've traveled some great places, and I should just be happy with that. And while there's nothing wrong with being happy with what you have, sometimes that masquerades, frankly, as bullshit to stop you from being the best you can be. So it took me a year or two, but I kind of woke up from that dream, and maybe not surprisingly, it happened when I got into life coach training in my early 50s. And it was just like, wait a minute, what have I done? Like, I've started thinking my best years have happened. I've done the biggest things I'm going to do. And it was like, nah, I don't really believe that, and I don't want to believe that. So I went back, I shifted that thinking back to, no, wait a minute. I don't have to be limited in my thinking, and I don't have to think that the best has already happened. And I started re-embracing that idea that my best years are ahead of me, and now I'm just sort of automatically back into that mindset. And in the few years since then, I mean, I've done amazing things, and some of them have been amazing hard, amazing scary, okay? It's not always just, rainbows and unicorns, but amazing things that have helped me become the version of me that I am today. And when I come before you a year from now, or even 6 months from now, I want to be a better version of who I am, because that to me is what living lavishly is all about. It's just like up leveling, although I kind of hate that cliche, but anyway, we'll use it. Up leveling who I am and what I'm capable of all the time. I just had my birthday, and I love celebrating birthdays, but so I'm a year older. I'm 57 now, and I am excited about what the next year is going to bring, what the next decade is going to bring, what the next several decades are going to be, and how I can grow and expand my life. So this week, as you go through the week, just remember this little idea and check in with yourself and see where you're at in your own journey. Do you think your best years are ahead of you? And how can that influence what you decide to say yes to, what you decide to say no to, right? Because in saying no to one thing, we really are saying yes to another. And how that can encourage you to being your absolute, unapologetically authentic self. Because that's what living lavishly is all about. Thanks, everybody. Talk to you again soon. Bye-bye.